Hello again. So this is the information system development course, and it is about the Django template. We learned already about the template filter, template inheritance, and we already reached the section about web framework. We learned about the simple CSS, cascade styling sheet, and then, yeah, we are going to learn more about the web framework. What is the web framework? And in the previous video, you learned about how to make the fancy website, and you need to figure out the CSS. What is the CSS, and how can you define the good background, and what is the color and everything? Okay, but it's more convenient if you have the mindset to use the framework. Okay, so when we are using the web framework, it means, yeah, you need to know more about the design. So web design requires a lot of efforts. For example, yeah, if you want to make a good design, later you need to make your own projects, right? So your own project will have different purpose. So I don't know what kind of projects that you are going to do, but different purpose require different types of web. Okay, so if you are going to make an e-commerce website, of course it is different with the government side. If you are going to make a blog, okay, so you want to create a story, then of course it is different with the data visualization side. So different purpose will have different type of web. So it's also a kind of um, this is also another issues when you want to design the web, the devices. Okay, the devices are varied. If you want to show your web in the mobile web, so it's, of course it is different with the uh, web that you want to show it on the gadget. For example, in the tab, or yeah, the tab will have the different kind of sizes. For example, 10 inches, or you have the 12 inches, or maybe it's 8 inches. So those devices are varied. Yeah, and also you need to deal with the operating system. Okay, so we learn about the information system is related also with the operating system. If it is Windows based, then maybe you need to know how the Windows environment set the display, or if it is related with the iOS, or if it is related with Linux or the Android, then yeah, those kind of web will have different things, and you need to know all those things. It is very tough if you just design by yourself. That's why we need to figure out what is the good framework. Okay, there are many frameworks already exist in the internet, and you can use the framework to assist you on the development phase. It means it will help you to make a good design without any concern with um, the styling. Okay, so if I can, okay, these two, okay, it's too big, I guess. Yes. So there are some existing framework like Bootstrap, Foundation, Semantic UI, Pure by Yahoo, UI Kit. Okay? So those are the framework that already available in the internet, and you can use it for free. Yeah. So all of them are the free framework that you can use, and they already have the CSS. They have already the styling, and you can just call the functions. For example, let's run demo. Okay, I give you this one, Bootstrap. Bootstrap is one of the famous web framework. Okay, and you can use this one. This is the online editor of the Bootstrap. So we call it the Bootstrap Studio. You can just click on the Run Browser demo. So once you go to the browser demo, then you will see like the, yeah, if you have this web design environment is similar with the offline, but it is now in the online. So you can just connect to internet and you can use this one. Let's say if you have a new design, okay, so the design, it is based on the Bootstrap 4, and you can design it with your name, for example, trial. Okay, and then, yeah, what kind of design you want? You want to make it blank, or you want to make it a clean sky, Of course, if you check this one, yeah, this is a premium template, so you need to pay some money. And this is also another premium template. Okay, if you need to make a visualization, then you can use this one. Or if you want to make a kind of agency, yeah, this is a good template, business casual, and so on. Okay, so those kind of template are available, and you can just use it. Let's say if I want to make the SP admin, okay, and if I want to customize this, okay, what do you want to show? Yeah, I want to show this one. I want to show this one. Oh, okay, so yes, that's what. Then I will use this, and I'm going to create. So the Bootstrap Studio will create for you, and this is the result. And this is the result from the index.html. I guess, yeah, they put also some other HTML file like the login profile, register table, and so on. And you can just use your own, for example, you want to make more functions here, then you can just make your own HTML file, and you can add more HTML file, you can add the new page, and so on. Okay, so this is a good framework. You don't need to think about the design, the styling, so you can just use this kind of style. Okay, it's free, and you can also deal with the devices. For example, yeah, if it is smaller for the smartphone, I guess, yeah, this will be the design. If it is for the desktop, then this will be the design. If you are using laptop, this is the design. Okay, so yeah, it depends on your style. You can see like this is the XS, this is the SM, this is the MD, and then this is the LG, or it is large, and this is the XL, extra large. Okay, so those design already available, and it will fit with your requirement or any other people requirement, because there these days there are a lot of equipment, there are a lot of devices. Okay, so from this point of view, okay, you can say that the web user interface framework, or the front end framework, is necessary. But now there are many frameworks. Okay, so for example, you can see it here. The Bootstrap is one of the framework. You can also get the foundation. Okay, what is the foundation? Uh, Bootstrap is based on the Twitter. Okay, and the foundation actually is based on the um, yeah, this is also another framework. Okay, it's not that bad. Okay? And then if you go to the semantic UI, for example, okay, so the semantic UI is also another. Yeah, so this is also not that bad. Okay, and they also provide the framework for free, and then you can design based on the devices that you want. Okay, and they have their own code to design this one. So those things are available in the internet, and maybe you are also asking the same question like what I asked in the first time when I learned about this framework. Which framework did I need to use? Okay, so I cannot say one framework is better and from the other framework, but I can say that you need to select the best framework with your requirement. So if, for example, if you are using the framework for uh, some kind of purpose. So you need to know if it is related with the CRUD operation. So we will learn about the CRUD. So it's about the create, read, update, and delete operation. Or if it is related with analysis or visualization, then yeah, you can say that maybe this framework is the best one. Yeah, it depends. Okay, so if it is an open source, or there is license issues, then yeah, you need to think. You cannot say that this is very beautiful. Okay, so it is very fancy, then I want to use that framework. But yeah, you need to pay some money, and you say that okay, I would just want to do with the open source. Then yeah, you need to check the license of the framework, which is like open source. The software pattern. So some of the framework, they have the software patterns, and you need to figure out whether it is the MVC, MVA, MVP, and etc. So I will teach you a little bit about the software patterns. I will not discuss the details because this course is not about the software pattern things. Okay? And the next is about the hosting requirement. Okay? So the hosting requirement is also important because some of the framework, they require the hosting, and whether it is a setup or non-setup requirement. For example, if you are using the internet, it can automatically connect to the JavaScript or the CSS file that is available in the internet. Then you don't need to install in your computer. You don't need to consume the memory in your computer. Okay? The same with the installation. So if it is required a lot of the complicated installation, maybe you don't need to use that one. The learning curve, whether you're you you think that it is easy to learn the framework or not, then it is also important. The core library, most of the framework is related with the JavaScript. Yeah? If the JavaScript is the basis, then yeah, you can easily learn from that one. But if the framework consists of another framework and it consists of another sub framework, of course it is so complicated. Database abstraction is also another issue. Documentation, community. Okay, so the community is also important. So if there are many people who use that one, I guess that is a good framework. So you can just choose that framework. But if it is no community for those frameworks, then you can just avoid it. Okay, bug fixes and updates it. So if it is a good framework, of course they will update regularly. And ease of creating an extension and availability. This is also another important issue. If you want to extend, okay, or if you want to put more additional functions, okay, then you can do easily. Then it's a good framework. So I'm choosing the Bootstrap. Okay, I've just focused on the Bootstrap because there are many people who use the Bootstrap, and also the usage of Bootstrap is not that difficult. And the other thing that is advantage from the Bootstrap is it is open source. Okay, if you want to make a very good design like what you saw in the Bootstrap Studio, they already have the template. If you want to use those templates, of course you need to pay. But if you design by yourself and you can just call some of the functions from Bootstrap, it's totally free. So there are two things that you need to learn about the Bootstrap. The first is the head section, and the other is about the body section. For the head sections, you can connect to Bootstrap in two particular ways. The first is using the package installation. So you can download the Bootstrap, or you can use the CDN. Okay? So CDN means the Content Delivery Network. So what is CDN? I will explain later. The package installation, it means you need to download the Bootstrap and place the package in your project. When you download some files, of course, it consumes some memory, and then you need to consume a lot of some spaces. So I want to avoid the package installation. Instead of package installation, we will do with the content delivery network. Okay? So we are going to place the JavaScript file in the head section. For the body section, there are some concerns. Okay, so you need to learn about the container. So the container class is very essential in the Bootstrap. So everything needs to be inside of the container. And the row is also another important aspect in the body section, row. Okay, so row usually you have the table and then you have one row, but that's not that row. So in Bootstrap, they have a particular row to define the design. Okay? So it is used to specify the grouping of the columns. And also there will be some classes. Yeah? So if you understand the object oriented, it will not be so difficult to understand the classes. So this is one example about the head. Okay? When you are using uh, the Bootstrap, you need to understand what is the link to the Bootstrap. At least there are two links that you need to use. Okay, the first is the where is my cursor? Okay, yeah, I can see this one. Okay, so the first is the bootstrap.css. So there are some variant. We have the bootstrap.min.css, bootstrap.css. Okay, if it is related with the min, so they just compress the file, so you don't need to have a very huge file to connect with. And the other is the bootstrap.min.js. So it is the JavaScript. Okay, so those two are important to tag in advance, so you can just use it from the internet. So for the CSS, you can use link, okay, and then the relation, it means the style sheet. So when you define the style sheet, it means it is related with the CSS. If you are using the JavaScript, okay, the JavaScript is the script base, and yeah, we will learn more about the JavaScript, but for now, let's just use the existing code. Okay, so here, for example, if you want to know the link here, so you can just copy and paste, and then you check on the internet. Let's say here, so I can see that this is a code actually. So the Bootstrap share the code to all of the users who want to use it, and then you can just get some of the classes and you can use it in your web design. And the same with the JS. So those are the CSS. Okay, so this already about uh, the good background or the good font style and etc. And the JavaScript actually is another thing. So it is related with the function itself. Of course, there are also some relation with the CSS, but this JavaScript is more about the function. If you click, what happen next? If you type something, then what will happen? Then yeah, those kind of things are uh, the contents of the JavaScript file. Okay. So those two are necessary for getting the template from the Bootstrap. But please remember the version. The version will be keep updated based on the community, and yeah, you can use the latest one. But sometimes, okay, sometimes the latest one has been updated with some upgraded values, but they cannot accommodate with the previous design. So those kind of things, yeah, there will be some issues, and yeah, you need to deal with that one. And yeah, you can have also oh, this is an example. Okay, so let's make a contact.html. So in this case, I want to make a contact file. Okay, so let me just copy and paste. Okay, and for this one, I'm using the bootstrap minimum css, bootstrap minimum css. Oh, I have two. Okay, yeah, no problem. And I have the data tables minimum. Let's check, is it working or not? I guess I should put one more files. Let's see. Okay, so I'm making a new HTML file. This is the contact.html. So I just put in the templates here. Make the contact.html. Okay. Yep. And then after you have the HTML file, let's make the contact request. Okay. So the contact in the function of Django or Python, it should be in the views.py. So let's go to the views.py, and then let's make one more function. And then after you have the function here, then you will need one more path, which is about the contact, and you need to put the link into the URLs. Okay. So after you finish with this one, you can run again, and you will see this one contact. Okay, so this is the result. If I want to say about this result, let's see one by one. So the things now you can see there are some CDN. Okay, so we call it this the content delivery network. So the content is delivered from the network, or the content is delivered from the internet. And you're using the Bootstrap main, so you can see that this is the version 3.3.7. It's not the latest one, so you can still use this one. Okay, and then yeah, you have the contact. This is the contact function. You have the writer, and then I want to connect with the contact.html. This is the variable name writer, and then yeah, just use the HTTP response, this one. And for the contact.html, let's see one by one. Okay, so it is related with the CSS and the data tables. Okay, what is the data tables? You can learn more later. So here I have form. Okay, so the form is a class, and then we have the this one. This is the contact, and this is the class of the function contact us. You have name, you have email. Okay, so the name is the input with the type is text, and then yeah, you want to put the ID as default contact form name. The email is also one of the input, and it contains the type of email. So if you have the type of email, it means you need to put the at, yeah, this is Golbengi. Okay, so you need to put the Golbengi here in order to verify that it is an email type. And the other thing that you can see here is, yeah, this is an option. Okay, so the select, and you have the class here. The value is choose option. It is disabled, so you don't need to put the choose option. But the next is the feedback, report a bug, feature request, and so on. So the selected means the first option that you will see here. You have the feedback, and then you choose option you cannot click, but the other you can click. Okay, and after you have this one, the next part is the form group. You control the this is the text area. Okay, so the text area is something that you can type. Okay, yeah, this is the text area. And after you have the text area, the last one is to copy. Oh, copy is different. Yeah, copy have the checkbox. So yeah, this is send me a copy of this message. So if you click this one, then you will see the result on your email. Okay, and the last one is the button. So the button, you can define the class. Okay, you can change the color. So it depends on what is your requirement. Okay, now you can see that this is too wide. Okay, for yeah, this is for one registration form is not that fancy, so you can make a fancy code here. You can include the bootstrap, the additional part. Okay, so this is the uh, this is the three statements that you need to put. So div class, div class, div class. As I mentioned to you, you need to put the container. Okay, and then the other thing is about the row, and then this is the size. So if you put this into the here, okay, so this is the default form contact top. So you can put here, okay, the three div, and of course you need to close with another three div. So you can put on the last part of this one, okay, and then let's check what happened. Oh, that's more fancy. Okay, so the size is now reduced, and yeah, you can see what are the components that you need to fill in. Okay. So using those functions, okay, you can check the size. Yeah, it is according to the MD4 and so on. So you can have this one. Let me move on. Okay. So the span, so again, you need to understand that the computer has a span 12, and then you need to separate the span into some particular column wise. For example, if you want to divide into two, then you can just say span 6 and span 6. If you want to divide the span 4, so span 4 and span 8. So you need to make the fitness with your monitor. Okay. So if you know about this idea, it will not be so difficult to understand. So you need to distinguish those things with the 12 uh, separators. So we can also have the grid classes. Okay, as I mentioned to you before, we have the grid classes. We have the X small, small, and medium, large, and X large. So the grid classes is to specify the particular column width. Okay. No, yeah, can extra small, small, medium, and large, and X large. So some sample code for the 3-column layout like this one. So we have the container, we have row, and then for 3 columns, we just define with MD4, MD4, MD4. What are they? Medium is, MD is medium, and then we have 4. So you know the total is 12. So if we divide into 3, I want to make 3 columns, then it is only 3. So the content will be the column MD4. Okay. So 4 it represent 1 column, and the size is yeah, 1/3 of the total. So we know the total is 12. So if you want to use button, you can also define with the button here. You can just change the class. Okay, you can just change the class, but you don't need to mention about the color and etc. So for example, you can see here is the blue one. Okay, or not blue, but it's more cyan color. And now I want to change it into danger. Okay, so because it is, oh, okay, it's this red. Okay, so I want to change this. Is not the built-in info, but is, let's see, then danger. Okay, so if I run this one, yep, the color has been changed to red. Yeah, so by changing the class name, it will give you the another kind of result. So let's move on the next example, where I will use the bootstrap with this example. So you make the index tree. Okay, let's make the index tree in the views.py. Okay, we have, I think it's the same with the previous one, but the only difference is we are going to call the hello table. Okay. And yeah, after you define the index tree, okay. I will keep using the 7 here. So let's make the 7 in the URL s.py. Okay. Okay, and then yeah, I need to copy all those and then make a new file, hello table. It is in the folder template, hello table. So you can just paste with the new one. Okay, it seems everything is okay. And this is the result. Okay, so in order to check this one, you just change this into 7. Yes, this is the result. Okay, so hello world example is the header, and then you will see this one. Yeah, you can see this is the format of the data table. And once you have this data table, it will be very convenient because you can just like sort. Okay, you want to sort based on the city name, you want to sort based on the population, or you want to sort based on the country. And if let's say you find Tokyo, okay, so it will automatically show the result from the search function. Okay, so using this one, you don't need to think about the design. You can just get the function from the, yeah, in this case I'm using the data tables and the bootstrap. Okay, and some of the data tables in the .js is related with the bootstrap itself. So those kind of CDN is also available in the bootstrap. And yeah, you can see the JavaScript here is the additional. So I want to go to the example. Okay, this is the example, and then the data table. So in order to create on the web, then you need to convert into the data table. So this is the yeah, this is the table. I have the ID, and then 3 columns are available: city name, population, and country. And for every city in cities, then you need to show it in the this double curly bracket: name, population, and countries. Okay, so if I eliminate the search function, then you can see like this one. So next is about I guess the function that you have. This one are the same with the previous example. So there is no such of detail that you can learn, because I'm just using the existing data like this one, and I just want to show it in the fancy things. So here you need to understand the hello table. Here you can see here. Okay, what is it? So I want to go to the example. This is the ID example. Okay, this is the ID example, and I want to make the data that you have. So this is the data that you have. It will be retrieved from the data table. Okay. So when I call the document here, it means I want to. When I call this one, it means all the components inside the table will follow the data table, and the data table is the function that you obtain from the internet. Okay, so that's all. If you want to learn more about the bootstrap, I just suggest you to follow the internet, and you can find some of the YouTube video. So those kind of things will help you to understand more about the bootstrap. So for now, I will just give you a very basic one. So in this chapter, we learn about the template filters. We learn about the inheritance, include extents, and some of the web framework we learn, which is about the CSS and the example of bootstrap. Okay. So for this week, the information system developments have no quiz, but I will give you assignment. Okay, so please check on your assignment section, and please don't forget to submit on the particular time that has been designated to you. Okay, so thank you for listening. I'm very happy to have you with this course, and see you on the next video.